morning I am desulfating my battery. So the first thing I've done is I put it on the charger. I use the battery tender. Let it stay on until it's fully charged. I have a quick connect on it. I periodically like to charge it and let it sit. So now that it's fully charged, I'm going to connect my desulfator. So the first thing I have is just a little 12-volt battery. And I use this. This is the end that comes with the battery tender. Then I got my cheap little desulfator here. And extra battery terminals. So the reason I'm doing this is the other day I went to start it and it kind of went click and then it started to crank, so I don't use this truck that often, so it definitely just has the battery slowly drains. So okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my little battery and we're going to connect it to my negative and positive terminals. And so what I'm going to use are my clips from the battery tender. I'm going to use this because I can just plug it right into each other. Now obviously here my polarity is going to switch, so my normal ground is going to go to the positive and my positive is going to go to the ground. So when I switch them here, they're just going to connect correctly. So right now both of these batteries are connected to the truck, but when I take my terminal off, now just the small battery, and I've already loosened my terminal, that's why it's just pulling off. So I take both my terminals off and put these on. And now that there's nothing attached to the battery, I'm going to connect my desulfator. Bring you in a little bit. So when I turn this on, it's going to show my volts. I'm not really sure what it's telling me there, but you can actually change that from 12 volts to higher volts or lower volts. I'm just going to let it be. So now it's pulsing. So it's going to start desulfating the battery. Now it's working. This is actually the third time I've done it. They tell you to do this 3 times. Run this for about 8 hours, take it off, put the battery charger on, then switch them back out again. Oh. And this has actually worked for me pretty well in the past, so I'm optimistic I'll have good results this time too. Alright, so we've used the desulfator 3 times, charged it 3 times. So what we're going to do today is see how our battery tests. Alright, so we're green, so it's fully charged. Plug it disconnect it. I had to cover my battery about 4 years ago when I originally bought the battery was dying every 6 months. It was always wet on top, like this seal up here. I was just letting water down on top of it. So I cut the fender cover out, just laid it on top, and I haven't had a problem since. So this battery is 9 of 19, so it is 4 years and 1 month old right now. I'll admit, in Florida, it's a long time. Usually 3 years is what we get. My wife's battery is 3 years old and it's starting to give us problems. Alright, so we're going to do our test. 12.88 volts. We'll do an in-vehicle, regular, CCA. It is 810. Now, admittingly, this battery is bigger than what the van calls for. It's had this size battery in it long before I bought it. I just stayed with it. Okay. Alright, good results. Measured 733 cold cranking amps. So that's a good battery. When I did this to my wife's battery, it said replace. So, if you're in a bind and your battery's starting to act up or get older, I highly recommend using the Desulfator. Now, admittingly, I didn't test it before, but I can tell by the way it was starting that I was having problems. Alright, there we go. Short tip of the day.